Hey everyone, so my husband and I were talking about earlier how my team, our incredible team, they gave me this script to write about commercial real estate and the market and statistics and blah, 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 and I just wasn't really feeling it. So my husband Kelly suggested, why don't we just do a fireside chat video? So that's what we're doing. So
yeah, we don't really have a fireside. We have a TV. We were trying to get the TV to look like a fire, but we couldn't figure that one out.
maybe it's a fire TV.
It is a Fire Stick TV. Our TV in Anthem, though, was on the Fire channel all the time.
That's right.
I love that. Anyway, yeah, we just want to talk about real estate and some of the crap that I hear on a day-to-day basis that just absolutely drives me wacko. What about you?
The headlines like, oh my God, the sky is falling, the sky is falling.
So let's just have a real down-to-earth talk about what's really freaking going on in the real estate world and put to bed these ridiculous damn rumors that we've been hearing that the market's going to crash. People have been thinking that since 2015. Oh my God, the sky is falling. You know, we were just talking about a couple of couples contacted us in 2015. They had just sold their house. They wanted to rent because they thought the market was overinflated and it was going to tank. And so they sold their house. They put the money in the bank, which was getting a whopping 0% interest. And from 2015, tells you how old I am. From 2015, the market went up a little over 16%. In 2016. In 2017, about the same. 18 was crazy, like 20%. And then, you know, it's been that way for a few years. And even last year, when the market supposedly tanked,
We still had double digits.
return. I mean, it was still like almost a 10% return and we're talking about Phoenix now, the Valley, we'll call it the Valley. People that put their money on the sidelines in 2015, 16, 17, and 18 basically are 100% upside down where they could have been. Their $300,000 home back then is now worth $600,000, and they have $300,000 in the bank, and to move into the same home, they got to spend twice as much.
Yeah.
Now, where did this belief come from that the market was going to crash? Like, you know where it comes from? YouTubers, TikTokers, people that are creating headlines to get you to subscribe to their damn channel.
Twitterers.
Is that tweeters?
Tweeters.
Yeah. Subscribe to the channel and then, you know, just monetize it, and you're listening to them. Like if
All
we
the
look at
clickbait.
so you know, we've been telling people it ain't gonna crash. There's nothing saying it's gonna crash. This is not like 2008, which was, for those of you who actually owned a home, you realize the reason the market took a tank was like horrible investment practices by investment firms on Wall Street, giving people loans who didn't deserve to have a loan. They didn't have to prove income. They just had to fog a mirror.
Yeah, they literally just had to have a breath.
Yeah, and they got a ridiculous loan for 120% over what the home value was.
Yeah,
and then, you
with
know,
balloon payments, adjustable rate,
More-
interest rates, and there was terrible, terrible loans.
and right now today, we have technically kind of a housing crisis. I mean, in all reality, we are about 4 to 6 million homes shy of being in a normal average market. Now, let me give you an example of a headline. We saw this about 2.5 months ago. There was a gentleman, well known on one of the channels, YouTube, who's saying that, oh my God, there was 1,000% increase in foreclosures January of this year to January of last year. Now, this report came out in March.
So, guess how many there were in January
Well, of the previous
of
year,
the previous year?
4.
4.
In the whole Maricopa County, Phoenix area, 4 foreclosures.
4 foreclosures.
A year later, there were 40. So technically, the headline is correct. That is 1,000% increase. You have to be deaf, dumb, blind, and absolutely freaking stupid if you read that headline and think that's really what's going on. If you do the damn research, which most people probably a lot of you that are watching this don't do. You would find out the normal market in Phoenix, the normal market in any given month would be 200 foreclosures. 200. We had 40. 1,000% increase. Oh my God. Come on, guys. 40 out of 2 million people?
You know what's slowing down this market over the past few months? I know you know the answer. Do you all know the answer? Do you know what's really happening?
Tell them, babe.
Interest rates are freaking high compared to where they normally were like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I would differ with her on this, by the way, because she's too young to remember this crap. Interest rates are not freaking high. We are barely above normal. Historically, 6% interest is normal. I owned a home in 1981. My interest rate was almost 21%. I think it was 19.8.
I think, isn't that the rate of most credit card interest on most credit cards?
Yeah, back then it was even, yeah. Well, no, I think today
24,
credit card interest is probably close to 30%.
24.99.
The bottom line is, historically, I remember back in about like 2007 or 2008, I was like, I got a 9% loan. I thought I was in hog heaven. Oh my God, 9%. If you had a 9% loan today, you'd be dying because you think you're being screwed over by some financial institution. The bottom line is, historically, these doggone interest rates have been around 6%. We got so used and so accustomed to abnormally low rates because the federal government was keeping interest rates low to spur the economy that we got used to it. And we think now that 6% is ridiculously high. Now, interest rates will come back down. But here's what's happening right now. We talk to people every day, and they're like, oh, well, you know, I think the market's kind of high. I think it's going to crash. It's like, what are you freaking
We're going to wait until prices go down. Like, guess what? They're not going down anytime soon.
And what they're really saying is, we really want to wait until the interest rates are better. Okay, so let's just talk about the first part first. The market's not going to drop. A bunch of really smart people just came out this week and said there's going to be no real estate recession this year or next year. By the way, a guy that I love a lot, he's really, the guy's sharp, Grant Cardone, was telling everybody how the market was going to crash and the sky is falling and real estate's going to go in the toilet and you better invest in multifamily. He's the only one who knows what's going on. Even he came out with a video recently and said, okay, I was wrong. There's no way in hell the real estate market's going to go down. Why? Because we're 6 million homes shy of being, we would have to produce another 2 million homes a year than we're producing right now to take 5 years to beat a normal market.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why inventory levels are so low is because sellers aren't motivated to sell because they're locked in at a really low interest rate. Some of them like 2.25%, 4%, somewhere in that range. So why on earth would they want to sell when they have to get a new home and pay 6.5% on their new mortgage? They're like, yeah, I think we'll wait.
Yeah. So right now you've got this, and take for instance Phoenix. Everybody was saying Phoenix was going to tank. We were going to see a 50% drop in prices. Like, it reversed about 5% in a lot of areas. Some places like Scottsdale, Chandler, they didn't drop at all. It stayed flat.
Still going up, actually.
Yeah, it's still going up. The bottom line is, why are we going to see in certain markets homes start to get back to double-digit returns? It's going to be a couple things. Number one, as soon as interest rates drop by 1 to 2 points, because now we're used to, like, we'll be happy with 4.5 to 5, people are going to flood the market. As soon as they flood the market, you're going to have competition. When there's competition, you're in a seller's market. And they can hold out, and people are going to be bidding against each other, just like they were a year and a half, 2 years ago, where they're going to be paying 50 grand over. And they're going to wait till interest rates are low, but now the prices are going up, and they're going to be at the very same payment than if they were to buy right now.
So the moral of the story is, if you are considering buying, get off the fence, because now is a great time. We're seeing large amount of concessions from sellers to help buy down that interest rate, so you're not paying 6.5%. You're maybe paying closer to 5 right now, depending on,
I would probably disagree that it's a great time to buy.
Well, it's a good time to buy.
It's probably the best time ever to buy. Why? The market's receded a little bit. It's going to stabilize here for a little bit longer. And then it's going to go. Also, you're in kind of a neutral, but still a little bit of a buyer's market where you can actually get concessions, like Jalen said. So what does that mean? That means you can get the seller, maybe not to discount the price a whole lot, but maybe pay all your closing costs. They might be able to pay down your interest rate from 6.25% to 4.25%. They might be able to help you with your down payment. You know, we still talk to people every day, and people tell us, well, I gotta save up, I gotta work on my credit, they got every excuse in the world not to do something. I think it's because they're freaking scared, or they're just stupid. Like, if you're gonna pay $2,500 a month, don't you wanna pay $2,500 a month and get a damn write-off because it's interest on a loan? And your rent will never go up because it's not rent, it's a mortgage payment. For 30 years, it's gonna be the same payment. And you get to write it off. But if you rent, you get nothing. And it's gonna go up every freaking year.
Can you explain what that means in layman's terms to, like, what do you mean by write it off? You can write it off.
Let's say
What does that look like?
that $2,000 a month of your payment is interest. So that's $24,000 a year. So let's say you make $84,000 a year in income. You're going to be able to write off $24,000 against your income. So you're only going to show $60,000 of taxable income. If you're in a 25% tax bracket, it means you're going to owe $15,000 in taxes. If you were in a 25% tax bracket at $84,000, you know, you're going to be paying about $21,000 in taxes. So you're going to save $6,000 to $7,000 a year in taxes by being able to write off the interest. And you can also write off the taxes, which in Arizona is not extremely high, but 1%, whatever. But the bottom line is, you have all sorts of tax advantages you don't have with renting. You get nothing with renting. So, right now, you can get a home at a discount. You can get concessions. You don't need to come up with a down payment. We've been able to get sellers to put up the 3.5% FHA down payment all day long. What you need is maybe some closing cost money. On a $400,000 house, that may be 12 grand. If you got 12 grand, you can get into a home right now for about the same price as it would be for rent. And it's your home. And if the market drops a little bit, who cares?
Yeah.
If the market dropped and you were renting, it's not like they're going to lower your rent because the value of their home went down. Right. They're going to raise it more.
And if it's a home that you love, that you plan on living in for a few years, who cares? Buy and hold it.
Yeah, what's that expression you say about marry something, bury?
Marry the home, date the rate. You can always refinance. Get out of that higher interest rate if you don't like it.
Yeah.
You can change that.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. So, look, guys, gals, everybody who's listening to this, watching this thing, if you think the market's dropping, you clearly are not reading the right stuff. You're not educating yourself. You're not digging deeper. You're not doing the research. You're watching the wrong TV shows. You're subscribing to the wrong YouTube channel. You're watching a bunch of freaking idiots on TikTok. And you're watching a bunch of morons on Instagram who are just trying to sell you to subscribe to their channel so they can monetize you. Quit being the victim, for God's sakes. Educate yourself. When is the time to buy stocks? When stocks are on
sale. When they're on sale.
Like, we had the opportunity, we're fortunate we have the EXP stock, and a lot of people wanted to bail because it was down. I was like, shit, wish we had more money, man. I want to buy more. Like, it was like $6, $7, $8 a share. I wanted to buy more and more and more and more and more. Well, now it's up to $20 a share. And what does that mean? It means while we're sleeping, we're making money. We've got multiple homes we purchased with lease with right to purchase. We've turned a couple of them into actual homes we've owned and sold them.
Yep.
Put money in our pocket, paid off all our debt. We've got a home right now. We're in the middle of assuming a loan. Our payment's going to be $1,700. We have it rented out right now for $28.
It's supposed to be
$28. Yeah. We gave the tenant a discount. They're doing some little work around the house for us for a while. But the bottom line is we're going to be making almost $1,000 a month in passive income. That's basically $12,000 a year.
Ain't too shabby.
$12,000 a year would be like having almost 200 grand in the bank right now, paying you about a 3.5% interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know too many people with 300 grand in the bank.
So, like, real estate honestly is the best investment, one of the best investments that you can, put your money into.
Yeah, I mean, if you just, there was a study done recently, this is probably about 6 months ago, I read the article, that they took the net worth of a bunch of different people in the same age brackets from like 40, 50, and 60 years old. And the average net worth of the homeowner was over $250,000 higher than the renter. Now, I don't know about you, but my mama didn't raise no food. If I know that by owning a home, I'm going to be $250,000 richer someday, I think I'm intelligent enough to get off that freaking hamster wheel of renting. And it really is a hamster wheel. I mean,
you're never going to get ahead.
No, and the home will never be yours. You can never do what you want to it. And you are at the mercy of the freaking wind. You are a sailboat in the middle of the ocean with a sail, but no rudder.
Yeah.
No compass, no direction. You are at the mercy of the weather where you're going to end up. And that's what's going to happen when you're a renter. Eventually, you're going to have to move. I mean, we've talked this year alone about a dozen people that have been at their residence 7 years or longer and are now being forced to move, either because ridiculous rental increases, or the owner wants to sell, wants to fix it up, and wants to capitalize because the market's so high.
Or they want to move back in.
Or they want to move back in,
Yeah,
which is
we
also
hear that all the time.
Yeah. So if you don't want to be kicked out, you want to actually own something, and maybe, like, I plan on living a hell of a long time.
I hope you live a long time too, honey.
So do I, babe. And I'm glad you want me to live a long time. But it's nice to know that someday I won't have any payment at all because the house will be mine. Or in our case, a couple, because we're leaving next week to go buy a home in Spain. Because
crossing fingers,
we want to own homes on two continents, with 3 different countries. So anyway, with that, we'll just let you guys go. And I just want to tell you all and share with you, like, guys, quit reading the headlines. Dig deeper, do your research, do your due diligence. Don't just take some moron's word for it that the market's going to crash. Because right now, the bubble is starting, and it's not a bubble, the pressure is starting to increase.
Yes, it's building.
Home prices are going to skyrocket. Rents are going to skyrocket. And if you don't want your payments to skyrocket, you better well damn take advantage of the situation right now, because there is not a better time than right now to get into real estate. So figure out a way, use other people's money, get some investors, get some friends, figure it out. Do lease with right to purchase.
Yeah, drop a comment below if you would like more information. We would be happy to give you a call and go over and explore your options that you have available.
Later, guys. Have a good day.
God
Bye.
bless.